Looks like it's about time for us to meet up with Ganyu. Let's head to Eugene Terrace.
Greetings, traveler.
Are you okay, Ganyu? You were nodding off there. Didn't you—
I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Since last time, I've been thinking a lot about the story Paimon told me. In essence, someone rescued a drowning man and performed some music. If that were all there was to it, it could have been many people. Human but the tune was allegedly so wonderful that the drowning man forgot about everything else, even his own impending death, and only came to his senses after being brought to— Perhaps there was an adeptal power at work in that music that he, as a mortal, could not perceive. Or perhaps he sensed a power surrounding him but lacked the words to describe it, not knowing where it came from. Either way, if this part of the story is true, then the rescuer has to have been an adeptus.
You really think so? But this story is all the way from Fontaine. Isn't this a bit of a long shot? Also, Paimon's really curious about how people from Fontaine think this fairy lady looked. Ooh, like a crystal fly's wings? That would be pretty cool. But Paimon definitely can't imagine any of the adepti looking like that. Actually, Ganyu, if you had to save a drowning person, how would you go about it?
Huh? Me? Well, I'd get them to the shore, and then I'd probably hide behind a tree and watch them for a while. Once I was sure that they were going to be okay, I'd slip away without a sound.
Got it. So basically, Ganyu's the type of person who doesn't like taking credit for her good deeds.
No, it's not like that. I'm just not very good at explaining things, and,
Well, what if this adeptus in the story had a similar attitude? That would explain why she was probably thinking something like, one was merely passing by and saw fit to address this egregious disruption to one's graceful zithering at once. You may keep your thanks to yourself.
That was actually a very good impression of Cloud Retainer, Paimon. As far as I'm aware, Cloud Retainer isn't the most musically gifted. Still, if we set off now, we could head to Mount Outsung and ask her about it. You'll be able to confirm either way if it's her, and I've been in Liyue Harbor for so long now that I'm just not as familiar with the Adepti anymore.
Sounds great! And we're pretty close with Cloud Retainer by now, so we probably don't even need to bring her food this time, right?
I've prepared a gift for her to mark the festival, just in case. Cloud Retainer spends most of her days studying mechanisms in her abode. She's on her own so much of the time that the moment she has someone to chat with, she just— Never mind. I promised I'd help Mr. Dvorak, and now that I've made the contract, Traveler, Paimon.
Seems like this is a tough decision for Ganyu, but Paimon gets why she'd be so anxious. Okay, how about this? If Cloud Retainer tries to start telling stories about her again this year, we should pipe up and change the topic. Wait, did she leave him?
can't believe it. Cloud Retainer is not here.
Huh? Did we miss?
She doesn't like to travel, so in the past, it's always been the other Adepti who come to visit her during the festivals. True. Now that I think about it, Cloud Retainer would be quite capable of taking care since she's not here. I guess the next step is to check all the other Adepti abodes, one by one.
Uh-oh. Will it involve a lot more... Got it!
Please go on, Paimon.
Our goal here is to find the Adeptus that helped Dvorak's and we can't hear any music right now, but if she's really as nice as the story suggests, she'd definitely come to help anyone who...
Yes, I think that's fair to say.
So, all we have to do is get the Traveler to pretend to fall into the water, and the Adeptus will come to the rescue! You know perfectly well that Paimon can't swim! Paimon would sink like a rock! Just trust Paimon! The water's pretty deep over there! Quick, swim to the very... Help! Help! Someone's drowning! If only there was a kind-hearted Adeptus here to save us! Oh no! Whatever will a Paimon do?
What is going on?
How do you feel right now?
Shenhe! And the Conqueror of
Why don't you say something? Please. Okay, fine. Paimon, we're looking for an Adeptus who's good at being a lifeguard, but if the Adepti aren't gonna stay home, then how are we supposed to find them?
It wasn't me.
Yeah, so this Adeptus is most like...
And I am not an Adeptus, as you both already know, Traveler and Paimon.
Okay, so there's no way Paimon would have suggested this idea if she'd known how awkward this was gonna be.
Glad you're okay. As far as I know, the one you seek is no Yaksha. And your actions here caused others a great deal of worry.
As ever, the Conqueror of Demons comes and goes, just like...
Right. I didn't dare to say a word. How's your training going, Shenhe? Have you made any plans for
I had planned to spend the festival.
Oh, speaking of Cloud Retainer...
Earlier this morning, she set off for Mount Hulao at dawn. I noticed she was using an Adeptus art of some kind to protect a mechanism that looked like a boiler.
So we just missed her. Please excuse me for a moment. I think I'll leave the gift in her abode.
Sure.
It sounds like Ganyu and Shenhe have gotten a lot closer.
Yes. During the summer and winter, I continued to train with Master. In the other months of the year, Ganyu arranged accommodations for me in the city, and also recommended several work positions, but when I try to blend in by referring to her as Miss Ganyu, sometimes I'm supposed to copy other people, sometimes I'm not. It's a little difficult to keep track of everything. Oh, is that what? So you came looking for Master today because you wanted to ask her about the Mystery Adeptus. Is that...
Yep. Oh, speaking of that, have you ever heard any
music?
It's... kind of...
Okay, I'm done. I also left her a note so that she knows where to find us.
Yay! That's really helpful. Thanks!
We were just talking about this thing called music, and based on Paimon's description, I do believe I hear it every day.
Oh, really? Great!
This is the place. I enjoy training here to the sound of music.
Oh no! Paimon's gone deaf! Paimon can't hear anything! Oh, whew! Paimon hasn't gone deaf after all! Paimon heard you when you, anyway...
The faint sound of birdsong, the quiet murmur of the streams.
Oh, okay, fine. It's all Paimon's fault. What we're looking for are...
Oh. And a melody is?
Huh?
Hey, why don't you just sing that one melody Shen has heard before? It'll probably help her to understand what we're talking about.
Oh, was that from the opera that...
That was a melody, and melodies can...
It felt like I was transported back to the past. In my mind, we're all there, raising our glasses, and as I watched Yunjin's performance, I felt a warm sensation in my heart. And as the drink reached when you hummed that melody just now, feelings from... So...
Wow, Shen, huh? Music definitely has the power to bring up memories. It's like a time cap. What about you, Ganyu? Are there any melodies that have left...
I don't remember if my parents ever sang any lullabies to me. I know some local folk songs, and a few other things. The songs of the sailors down at the docks. The little ditties that the vendors call out in front of their beloved shops. Yes, that's right. In the past, whenever I heard the sound of those tunes, Nenny and Liyue probably view me as a non-human. And they are right, in the sense that I never could connect with humans, at least that's the view I held in the past. Only more recently did I start to realize that the way those melodies make me feel isn't all that different from other people after, even though we come from different backgrounds and have different stories to tell. In that sense...
You go, Ganyu! You're really making progress. You have loads of friends in Liyue Harbor when you think about it. Like...
Yes, I am. Technically speaking, we should refer to each other by the conventional forms of address used among fellow disciples.
Thank you.
Once the days are warmer, I would like to host. I've planted many types of...
You are...
Nonsense. I have cultivated and cared for the flowers just as you taught me. Once you've seen them for yourself, I am sure you can... I will save some for decoration. We can feast on...
Then, thank you in advance. Wait,
do people say that?
It doesn't matter, okay? You got the point across. No need to split hairs. Paimon's more concerned about your idea of a girls' night out.
Who dares refer to one not by one's Adeptus title, but merely as that illuminated bird?
Master.
Our greetings, Cloud Retainer.
Ah! There it is! The illuminated bird has landed!
Double humph. Now she has the gall to use it rather than she. Even after being chastised once already? Barely a moment has passed since we last met, and yet one has received your message from Ganyu. On the matter of the Adeptus well, shall one lead the way?
I still have to complete my training for today, so I will bid farewell to everyone here.
Very well. Await my arrival at one's abode later this night. On this special occasion, you should indulge yourself with some savory...
If you want to release a Shao Lantern, come and find us anytime.
Thank you, everyone. Happy lamp...
Is this... Quaily Plains? Cloud Retainer, why did you bring us here?
Ganyu is of course familiar with the name Guizhong, but have you ever heard of her? Guizhong is another name of Agentis, the god of dust. She was extroverted in nature. Long ago, this region was yet a prosperous assembly. Guizhong often invited her friends to visit. Seagazer would always bring out his latest treasure and place it upon the table. He could be quite the braggart. Though usually a mild-mannered fellow, when it came to...
Paimon remembers that name. So that's what's...
He was an old friend and a former rival. One has many memories of him. Once he had brought out the treasure, it would predictably become the center of attention. Neither Guizhong nor one was content to let him just... As Adepti, we were each gifted in our own ways, and naturally proud of our accomplishments and our respect. His treasures were not even of his own making. He just used his exploration skills to dig them out of the ground. How, pray tell, could he compare to me, when every single...
Cloud Retainer, you are getting competitive again.
One digresses. Regardless, every time an argument occurred, Guizhong would come over to watch us during our mutual lambastics. On some occasions, she would join in, and on others, she'd take one of us by the limb and start uttering the most ridiculous nonsense.
What kind of nonsense?
No kind of nonsense were we spared. Sometimes she would brazenly opine, why argue between yourselves when neither of you could ever hope to beat me? Other times, she would make unsolicited suggestions, such as, once you two are done arguing, let's go to the foot of the mountain and grill some meat. She always sought to make everyone happy, and one must say, she had quite the gift for it. It also helped that she never referred to one as that
Come on, get up!
Anyway, just as our impassioned arguments would reach the apex of acrimony, who would dare snub the stove god and his wondrous creations? At the sight of him, we would all immediately drop the argument and prepare the table for a night of feasting and drinking. Back then, one was always bothered by how the cups Rex Lapis brought were always too square for one's taste. Can you... Precisely. So, as you can see, even one could never find fault with Marchosius's cooking. As we ate, Guizhong would continue. Each of those old fossils had their character flaws and points of obstinacy. So why was it we would drink together from a spot high in the mountains, until the moon set and the sun rose, and only that Streetwood Rambler would often remain to admire the flowers with Guizhong before returning to her own abode. The glaze lilies were far more abundant back then. Entire fields of them would appear to the eye as a veritable sea of flowers.
Streetward Rambler?
That would be Ping. You probably know her as Madam Ping.
Oh, okay. Wait, this is a lovely story, or are you saying that it was
Alas, long has one avoided this place for precise... One should have guessed that you would disrupt one's poignant moment of mourning with your incessant questioning. No matter. In times gone by, one quarreled oft with Guizhong concerning mechanical principles. We each had our ideals, and neither would yield. Under the pretext of a social gathering, one invited the impartial Rex Lapis to judge the quality of our creations. But Rex Lapis declared that Guizhong's Obscuro Vulpus mechanism was superior. Though one was too proud to acknowledge it, in one's heart, one knew that Guizhong was indeed the superior talent in the mechanical arts. As for the story between Guizhong and Streetward Rambler, that begins with a certain bell. In Guizhong's opinion, while mechanisms were no substitute for human composers, they were yet capable of producing simple but fine melodies. But Streetward Rambler believed music to be an expression of the soul, an emotional enterprise that could never hope to be replicated by machinery. They argued endlessly, until one asked Rex Lapis to intercede. He confiscated the bell and designated it for ceremonial use. Thereafter, one would often find them convening in the mountains, discussing music, mechanics, and all the affairs of the mortal world. But these good times were not to last. War broke out between the gods, and soon engulfed the Guili Plains. Guizhong was overpowered by the enemy, and fell in battle. When Streetwood Rambler and I arrived at the scene at long last, all that remained among the ruins was her lifeless body. After this, at Streetwood Rambler's request, Rex Lapis granted her the cleansing bell for safekeeping. To honor our friend's memory, one made a few finishing touches to her ballistic device. Many lantern rites have passed since then. Many greetings and goodbyes. Upon what do you gaze? The Guili Plains?
No. It's everything. We think of human life as like a lantern that's lit one minute and extinguished the next. But are we Adepti so different? Perhaps as dust settles after a storm, we too must one day return to the world below.
One has always been austere and private by nature, and has never relished.
What? You have loads of friends! And you...
Just because one is not ignorant of social graces does not mean one is fond of them. But in the end, one is nothing like Streetwood Rambler. She is dauntless but thoughtful. Not to mention eloquent. Back when they were rivals, they would often compete against one another in the realm. That cleansing bell was one of Guizhong's proudest works, having the ability to both compose.
Wait, that's weird. Didn't Madame Ping say she pestered an old friend for that bell? And she also said something about being a vain beauty when she was young.
Streetwood Rambler, a vain beauty. That bell has a sad history. As for her old friend, as soon as Streetwood Rambler heard that a certain Zhang Li wished to borrow the bell, she realized that the man was none other than Rex Lapis, and that, after all, we all have known each other for several millennia.
Whoa! So they were talking in secret code?
Enough of your intrusions. The cleansing bell is powered by a mechanical art, and can be used to great effect as an accompaniment. But Streetwood Rambler did not acquire it from Rex Lapis for the purpose of producing further funerary tunes. No, the two once clashed over their beliefs about the meaning of music. Who would have thought that with Once upon a time, Streetwood Rambler also loved gatherings, liquor, and music. But after Guizhong passed, she preferred her own company. Music would go from mournful to soothing. Many years passed before she finally composed a melody to our satisfaction. In celebration, which brings one back to the matter you've been investigating. Perhaps it was during that performance that the ancestor of your Fontaine friend...
But if she was so happy with the melody...
One was also greatly perplexed by this. After suppressing one's curiosity for a long while, in response, she said, though the strings that played that melody survive, the one who inspired it is gone.
Aww.
I just remember being taken care of by you when I was young. Once the Archon War came to an end, I stayed behind, and although I met Guizhong a few times, I never knew anything of this particular story.
Guizhong was quite the visionary, but tragically passed before her time. Had you not decided to search for that As of now, you know the truth. That the Adeptus who rescued you intend to discuss this with her.
Do you mean Ping might find the topic too
Precisely. The passing of our old friend is a heavy topic that both of us are usually careful to avoid.
If I may be so bold, Cloud Retainer, could it be that this is just your own personal opinion?
Oh? How's...
I've been in Liyue Harbor for quite a long time now, and I've witnessed many farewells along the... But this doesn't bring the city or its people to a standstill. Someone as perceptive and wise as Ping will surely have come to a... Though these immortal mountains have lost an Adeptus, no loss can ever be undone. But there is all... Ping has helped countless people, and will guide many others in the years to come. And though it is heartbreaking to lose a kindred spirit, life goes on. Because there are new...
We even asked Madame Ping what she thought about adding a music festival to this. When we get back, why don't we just ask her if she'd like to perform? Maybe we can even get her up on...
You youngsters and your
Why don't you come with us? It's been a long time since you last spoke with Ping. And Liyue...
Is not every lantern rite the same in this regard? Were there ever anything new to discuss?
I disagree. Each new day and each new year is different from those that have come before.
The edibles she brought this... Very well, then one will be off. If the other old fossils have sneaked away into the city to amuse themselves, one shall soon find out.
All right. We should be getting back to the harbor as well. Say, if we planted flowers there and cared for them carefully enough...
Allow one to take back one's praise from a moment prior.
What? Cloud Retainer?
One observed that you were making no effort to leave, and returned to chasten and hasten you.
Whoa! Madame Ping?
It appears you made haste after all. One arrived.
Oh, bless my soul.
Miss Illuminated Bird, haven't you said anything?
Said what, precisely? And why should...
Because you're the one who's known better.
Street word. Or rather...
Cloud Retainer, you are
given that lantern rite is almost upon us.
So, this all started because we were trying to help Mr. Devor... Cloud Retainer informed us that the one who played that melody and rescued...
let me think. What a long time ago that was. Even more astonishing, perhaps, is the fact that this story has survived this long at all.
Who's...
We like to call her Guizhong. From the look in Cloud Retainer's eyes,
Albeit reluctantly, one might add.
There is no harm done, after all. Lantern Right's very purpose is to although Guizhong did not live to see the splendid sights of today.
So, how has...
Once upon a time, she said to me, but as she interacted more and more with them, she marveled at the beautiful complexity of their spirits. She told us that to underestimate with the smallest amount of guidance, and a human who has reached their full potential.
She always had a way with words. That her mechanical accomplishments were judged superior.
Speaking of mechanics, Cloud Retainer, do you still...
Of course. Guizhong and one both put an immense amount of effort into that gift.
As Guizhong once said, it takes every... When I see the sight of
Madame Ping looks very emotional right now.
Of all of us, it was If she were still with us, I'm quite sure she would
Liyue Harbor is always filled with the sound of music at this time of the year.
Oh, yeah! We've been dying to ask. What was the melody that... Oh, also, with you being such a music expert...
I can make arrangements right away.
Oh, it's been a long time since I played this zither, and whenever I play that tune, it always reminds me of her. There was a period of time whenever I started strumming, it almost felt like she was back again. No matter how much time goes by, the moment...
So the past still weighs heavily on your heart?
Oh, I would be lying to myself if I claimed to have completely moved. But that is not to say that grief, despite the sadness, I have found many things that bring me joy. Just look at this potted plant. Isn't it stunning?
It takes an honest and open mind to confront and conquer grief.
Be that as it may, I shall leave the lantern rite stage to the youth.
Well, if you're sure...
Granny! Whoa, what's everyone doing here? Did something bad happen?
Ah, and now we've spooked Yanfei. No.
Oh, that's wonderful, I'm glad. Well, in that case,
Happy Lantern Rite. Oh, I just remembered that I have some, work to do at... I will leave Mr. Dvorak in your capable hands. Cloud Retainer, Ping.
Huh? Does it have to be right now? Which case is this again? Hey, Gon...
It seems Ganyu still has...
What a pity. She has learned nothing of one's ability to carry a conversation.
Since it's been so long, Cloud Retainer, why don't you stay? I'll make a cup of tea and we can...
Gladly. This was one's intention.
When you next see the Fontaine musician, please give him my regards.
You got it, madam.
Thank you all. As for that melody, I will play it for you all.
Wow, that'd be good.
When that time comes. Wherever her spirit may be among the count...
All right, let's go tell Mr. Dvorak the news. Mr. Dvorak! Ah, and Kuchin's here too!
Welcome back.
Really well. We found the person Mr. Dvorak was...
Are you... I see. So the melody my ancestor heard was... That certainly explains why it was such a powerful and poignant tune.
Huh. That's a really interesting first reaction.
I have to say, though, it's hard to believe that the fairy from the tale is now an elder...
Oh, Paimon knows exactly what you mean. Normally Adepti don't, but Streetward Rambler, or Madam Ping as we know her, probably only became old because it's what she...
Madam Ping possesses vast knowledge and great wisdom. Whatever physical form she may decide to take, her mind and wits are as sharp as they come.
Yep, Kuching summed it up perfectly. That's exactly what
I think... yes. I must thank her in person. That can wait until after the concert, though. For now, I need to devote all my emotional energy to the performance.
Ah, speaking of, Madam Ping wishes you all the best at the music festival. Paimon has a sneaking suspicion that she'll stay in her usual spot.
Wait, are you serious? Oh no, now I'm starting to get... Okay, alright. Nope, another rehearsal is in order. Please excuse me, everyone.
Mr. Dvorak? He's already gone. Before we set off on our search with Ganyu, he asked us about what music means to people.
Please, share your insights with me.
Well, we found out that music can be used, it can make people happy and moved, but it can also be sad, and music is like a kind of memory written...
It sounds like you had an eventful trip. Don't worry,
Wait, does that mean you're gonna carry it?
Mm-hmm. Just a few things to wrap up. All the groundwork. As long as everyone enjoys the festival activity, happy Lantern Rite to you as well.
That should be... Paimon feels like she's forgetting something. Shoot! Latent... Wait, no. Anyway, Zhangli said he wasn't in a hurry. Anyway, even if we don't make it, it's not a... Anyway...
Oh, all right. Let's take a break.
Oh wow, look who it is! Are you here to hang out?
So you're just casually practicing your rapping skills at the entrance to your funeral parlor? In broad daylight?
After everything we've been through, we have all this open space, a clear view of the mountains behind and the sea in front. Not to mention we have several
invisible...
Gotta say, it took me a few days to get used to
Xinyan was pretty spooked too when she first got here. Just like when she sees...
Come on, knock it off.
What's wrong? I've never seen someone look so confused before. Well, don't worry, because Director Who's here to explain it all. There once was a Fontaine musician who went around town on a mission. He came door to door for his iridescence tour, looking for acts to audition. With my words, Xinyan's chords, and Yunjin as our mentor, we'll take the stage by storm with flames roaring and the whole audience calling for more.
For sure! The whole dance floor will be yelling encore! Encore! Oh, now Paimon's...
Oh, don't you worry about that. I'm pretty experienced on the stage, and I've already...
Huh. Guess we'll just have to trust...
Oh, Zhongli. He took one of those fancy meal boxes and set off for the mountains.
It's a real pity that he couldn't be around for this, as well as being a true connoisseur of traditional art forms.
Yeah, that's right. Matter of fact, to tell the truth, though, I never thought I'd really...
Well, now you know. The Wangsheng Funeral Parlor is a great location. All of you are always welcome to come and hang out here.
I can speak to that. Hu Tao is...
And jump scare.
Actually, Xinyan, I have some lyric ideas for your...
Sure thing.
Oh, Traveler in Paimon. I believe Zhongli was heading to Mount Hulao, so make sure you're hiking up the right hill. When you see Zhongli, please pass on this message to him. It's up to him whether he wants to support us at the performance tonight, but I expect him to make time for the... You should join us too. It'll be a riot. If there's one thing I've learned from being a funeral director, it's how to throw...
A familiar face. Have you...
Everything's great! But, you know, if you're...
In fact, Mooncarver has been taking many walks on Mount Tianheng and...
Zhongli! Here you are! We've brought...
Impeccable time. Traditionally, bamboo shoot soup ought to be slow-cooked for many hours on low heat. using Adeptus arts to hasten the process.
Wait, that mech?
Indeed. Cloud Retainer kindly lent me her supreme...
Can we not just call it a cooking machine? Actually, never mind. She seems to take a lot of pride in her mechanical gizmos, so it's probably best if Paimon doesn't go change.
I trust that you found the answers you were seeking. Excellent. The past should be remembered, but not overly dwelt upon. When the bamboo shoot soup is ready, I must insist...
Oh, Zhongli! Huta told us to tell you something. She said, it's up to him whether he wants to support us at the performance tonight, but I expect him to make time for the upcoming banquet we're planning. When she says performance, she must mean the Lantern Rite Music Festival. As for the banquet, she didn't tell us any...
As you can see, I have a prior engagement with 2 Adepti friends of mine tonight. As for the banquet, since the director insists, far be it from a mere consultant like myself to refuse.
Yay! Then we'll...
Absolutely.
Rex Lapis, the bamboo shoot soup is...
Thank you. The appearance is exquisite, and the aroma rich. Since you came all this way, you should not leave empty-handed. Please, take some soup. It...
I'm honored to be here on the Iridescence Tour stage. All right, without further ado, I'm Xinyan, this is Hintao, and this is a little something called...
The Flame Lilies!
I'm up here blazing trails through the midnight sky, lighting up the world below. And when the crowds all hear my voice, they'll meet the spirit of rock and roll.
Let's go! Hey, you butterfly, you too buzzing by, guiding your way to the afterlife, opening the path without a fright. Oh, I'll light the fire, watch it blaze across the universe. I'll spit my rhymes, watch your step, or you'll get burned. Hey, woo!
Does anyone have any plans tomorrow? With another year behind us, I think we deserve a celebration of our own. My treat. Interested?
The Tianquan footing the bill? I can't miss out on that.
May the year ahead be a blessed one.
I believe it shall be.
Master, the Xiao Lanterns,
Elementary. One shall fashion for you a Xiao Lantern, the likes of which the world has never seen. And you must take it to Liyue Harbor to display its magnificence for all.
Traveler, hurry! It's almost time for us to join Hotel for dinner! Ooh, and we'll be meeting at Shinue Kiosk. It's the place with a really long wait list. As expected of the parlor director, always so generous! Come on, let's go! Oh, so that's how it is. Thanks for the suggestions,
I've long heard that your knowledge encompasses all things old and new, Mr. Jean. It is truly an honor to make your acquaintance.
No need for formalities. I too feel humbled to be in the company of such talented young people.
Oh, you flatter us. If it's possible, may I
Exorcism? I can't say I'm an expert in the field, but if you don't mind.
Whoa, there's so many people here. All we knew was that Hotel invited Zhongli over. Paimon never thought we'd be Happy Lantern Ride, everyone!
Likewise. Please take a seat.
Happy Lantern Ride! Are you having fun? Me too. I've seen Xinyan perform before, but this is the first time I've watched something like this. I heard that the audience loved it too, and she's been receiving quite a lot of
Yep, and they asked us to pass on their season's greetings to everyone.
The performance was spectacular indeed. However, it gave Xiangling a huge burst of inspiration.
Us? Did Xiangling ask you to try out her dishes too?
That, my friend, is beside the point. Come to think of it, I probably shouldn't have burdened Chongyun with eating my share.
Hold on, Xiangling came up with a new recipe? Oh, see? Someone here knows how to encourage people. Oh, and I have to thank Mr. Zhongli too. He gave me lots of useful... Oh, so that's what you were talking about before we arrived.
Yes. Since we'll be dining together, the topic of our Xiangling's ideas are truly unconventional. Her choices in both ingredients... My suggestions were nothing more than the...
Oh, the two of you always do... Now I'm getting embarrassed. Anyway, I'll get everyone to have a taste after...
That sounds like it might become a little...
How about I sample the dishes next time?
Speaking of eating, Paimon feels like... Oh, Huta was the one who invited us, but she's not... Oh, Guoba volunteered to help Dad at the rest... You know, lots of people come over to eat during Lantern Rite. Without Guoba helping out, I probably wouldn't have had... As for Huta...
The director went to collect a guest. She asked me to... Seems like it's almost...
Huh? Huta went to fetch someone in person? Could it be... Kuching?
She didn't clarify. And as her
Ta-da! We're here! Oh, we're not late to the party, right? Good thing the Conqueror of Demons and I are both as swift as the wind. And whoosh, we made it just in time.
Oh, I see. So the important guest is the Conqueror of Demons. The director didn't mention anything when she invited us. What a pleasant surprise. To convene here with all of you is indeed...
It's almost Lantern Rite. Yet you took all the trouble coming here.
The director has a way of making it different.
Rex Lapis.
The director asked me to buy sesame oil in preparation for the celebration.
Then why would you come all the way to...
I had a pleasant chat with Chef Yenchao and received some spices from him. And, see?
What about the sesame oil?
It's a shame.
I'm sure you're exaggerating, Zhang... Sir...
There he goes again. Enough with the pleasantries. Go let her... Everyone here today is well known in their own field and has probably heard about one another to some extent. I heard that the Conqueror of Demons and the Traveler are pretty close. Great. You two sit together.
You should take a seat too, Director.
Oh? Finally, when we arrived just now, the host at Shinue Kiosk told me our dishes are almost ready. Perfect timing. Let's not wait any longer and ask them to bring out the food.
Paimon would have never guessed the person who Tao went to fetch was Xiao.
Oh, that's also the first I've heard of the Traveler in
You know Xiao Chu.
Knowing is a bit of an overstatement. You might not know this, Paimon, but we exorcists have worked in close collaboration with the Conqueror of Demons for many generations. Hard to imagine that thanks to Hu Tao, I've finally gotten the chance to...
Likewise.
It is a great honor indeed to have a chance to meet the... I remember you mentioning wanting him to understand the importance of exorcists.
We know each other too. He helped try my dishes during the Masterful Chef's cook-off. I didn't think we'd have the chance to...
No anecdote, however, compares to meeting you in person. I'm Xingqiu.
Whoa. Everyone's getting all formal and polite all of a sudden. Adeptus Xiao. My Paimon tried very hard to look for a fancy word, okay? Don't be too...
There's no need to be so polite.
You're right. This was meant to be a nice little get-together between friends after all. I didn't plan this gathering only for everyone to walk on eggshells. Hiya.
What's your true intention then?
A little get-together between friends, sipping the finest tea and watching lanterns float into the sky. And that is something our consultant would say. I think it deserves a standing ovation.
Indeed. Exceptional acting skills.
As for me, I'm just here to have fun and treat everyone to something. We all worked really hard this year. Cooking, helping with the family business, exorcising evil spirits, and of course, our consultant, who's been helping out. Everyone has done some pretty... As the one who brought everyone together, it goes without...
Huh? Sounds kind of self-important, but... Paimon thinks it's pretty amazing that she managed to talk Xiao into coming.
It wasn't as complicated as you
Okay, gotcha.
It's not boss lady, just boss. And there she goes. What a lively girl.
Conqueror of Demons, Adeptus Xiao. Guardian of Wangshu Inn. Hero of... I know you're there.
Quiet. Do not disturb the peace.
Sorry, but you wouldn't show up if I didn't yell your name, would you?
I know you. You're the 77th director of... Is there something you need?
That does sound like one of Hu Tao's...
Did the Conqueror of Demons agree to come so that Hu Tao would stop pestering him?
There might be a...
Huh? It gets pretty boring from here on. I talked about the funeral parlor's past relationships with the Guardian...
In the time of the Archon War, disputes were frequent. The Adepti vanquished the demons. The Millelith fought valiantly. And Wangsheng Funeral Parlor was responsible for pure... That is how the border between life and death was maintained during...
That's right. 1 point for the... But despite our deep-rooted connection, it still took me quite a while to actually convince him. You know him pretty well.
This matter is out of my control. So I need...
True, but I've kept that in mind too. That's why everyone here... Besides, it'll only be for a short while.
But I didn't... expect...
There's no need to worry, Conqueror of Demons. We're not... Our young exorcist over here is protected by his pure yang and...
That's not the same. And did you just toss your carrots into my bowl?
Huh?
I'm siding with Chongyun. I saw that. You're lucky Guoba isn't here today. He hates seeing people being picky with their food. If he'd seen that, he'd definitely make you eat all your carrots.
Huh? Guoba would do that? But now that I think of it, Xianglin told...
It sounds like you've heard...
I'm doing fine. Not long ago, before Lantern Rite, I met... Thanks to his help, things have been a lot more stable than before. You should know him. He...
Seeds of store...
And cultivated by... Did Paimon have voice? Could it...
if I'm not mistaken, don't just sit there, Zhongli. Go welcome our guest.
No such need. You finally let me in. Hello, hello. No matter if we've met before or not, this moment marks a...
Oh, it's the tone-deaf...
Oh, he seems to carry a valiant breeze wherever he goes. And fate has brought us together, so come on, take a seat and be my guest.
This young lady here is as bright as a fresh bouquet of flowers. Whoa, these dishes look amazing.
Huh, it's you.
Oh, isn't this Genyu?
Genyu?
Yup. Now that I've taken a closer... I met Xingqiu at a light novel convention. I never expected that there'd be another person in this world who could interpret Genyu's new novel.
Venti, you're being too humble. Considering you're poetic...
Could this new guest be Master Xingqiu's friend?
Yeah! Xiao, you remember me too, right?
Yes, yes. Monsters become more active than usual as we get closer. I was patrolling Dihua Marsh a few days ago. When I...
You've already forgotten? And bards go around...
Oh, right. And this bard, it was a moving melody. And it made me feel relaxed.
Thank you for your patronage.
I understand now, too. I'm Zhongli, currently working at the...
And I'm his boss. Oh, and if there's anything unsatisfactory...
That's very considerate.
Oh? No wonder. Only a boss as savvy...
Oh, not to brag, but our consultant truly is impressive. His knowledge extends across from the sophisticated way he speaks. It's hard not to suspect... Xiao, you're an adeptus. Do you think it...
Sorry. I'm only good at conquering demons. I'm
Really? But Paimon thinks you're super knowledgeable. Huh? Xiao's a warrior. He doesn't...
Really? I've actually heard a few things about Mr. Zhongli. The guests in the tavern talked about this refined and courteous man who, instead of having wine at Mondstadt's finest tavern, ordered a cup of...
Now that you mention it, I seem to recall that there indeed... I've heard that he's elegant and amiable, his works witty and vibrant. It's no overstatement to regard him as the best...
Now you're making me... I would say that Mondstadt's poetry is a little... There's one I heard a while back that went... The meaning's there, but the word choices are unimaginative, and there's a distinct...
I think so, too. The composition, if I were to give it a go, I'd make it an old melon on a vine, a new flower that...
Oh, good one! It feels unique and has a nice...
You have great taste, Venti. I was...
Of course, of course.
Hey, Xingqiu. Mind lending me a few books when we get back? Pick out some well-written ones. I don't know if it's my own lack of literary knowledge, but I couldn't tell the difference between...
I don't think it's your fault.
Chongyun's right. It's not our fault.
Oh, you have a point. But speaking of, why is the tone-deaf bard here?
I heard that Liyue will be hosting a Lantern-Ripe music festival this year. As a musician, getting to know other musical styles is essential to sparking inspiration, don't you think? As for the Fontaine friend who hosted the festival, I saw him near the Iridescence tour has finally been held successfully for once, so I had to... Don't think anything of it. By the way, I was watching as you entered Shin... Should I say that it's because I'm an expert in hiding, or that a certain...
Whenever Lantern Rite comes around, Liyue, people are lanterns and strolling around the shops, and the festival is in full swing and proceeding smoothly. And we're all gathered here to come together with all of you at the beginning of the year. In a moment like this, I propose we raise a glass together. In my...
Very well, Mr. Zhongli. Now I'm getting a little self-conscious. I didn't cause you too much trouble barging. We usually drink wine during occasions like this over in Mondstadt. But since
You're welcome. As the host of this gathering, I hope everyone enjoys the food and drinks. May this year be better than the last. Considering that everyone may have other matters to attend to later, sticking to tea...
All of a sudden, they started proposing toasts.
What's with the urgency?
Have you two finished eating? It's always nice to have a breath of fresh air after a...
Paimon will come too. Yeah? Okay then.
Are you alright? It's hard to describe. It's not that. There were those among the Adepti who loved gatherings and idle chit-chat. Sometimes they would call up a few others for a drink. The Adepti all have their specialties, making most of them proud and arrogant. But this time... No. So you know his true identity. The Animo Archon is a free spirit, and his temperament is as carefree as the music he plays on the flute. And that's something I might never be able to do. No matter. Whenever I think of the ordinary conversations I've had with you, it feels... strangely... Yes, the parlor director went out of her way with the invitation. So it was difficult to turn. She told me that all the guests today would be acquainted with elemental power. But I didn't expect the other guests to be... General Capisis always said that we should live in the present and enjoy every pleasant... But I think he meant designing clothes for those around. Clothes were intricately designed, but inconvenient to... Rex Lapis did like his designs and even collected quite a few. The outfit he wear... I never saw him wear this during the war.
Oh, here you are. I'm not intruding.
You're not.
Hu Tao saw that everyone's done eating and asked the staff to bring out the dessert. Paimon got so anxious that you weren't back yet that she scarfed down her dessert without the usual slurping and munching. To be honest, you looked a little restless just now, and I thought you weren't used to the food here and was planning to head back to Wangshu Inn for...
You're worrying too much. Why would I? Anyway, let's head back.
Please wait! There's another reason why I came looking... Here, take these.
Almond tofu?
Yup. Since the Masterful Chef's competition, you could say that Yan Xiao and I are not only competitors, but good friends. I heard him say that the esteemed guest on the roof loves nothing more than a good plate of... I'll be honest, before Hu Tao invited everyone, she secretly came... So I made a few servings of almond tofu for you guys in advance. Take them as a... When I told Guoba that I was making these for you, he started eagerly running around the kitchen and helping...
Thank you for the trouble. There was no need... I'll take them.
You're welcome. Oh, the almond tofu I made probably tastes and feels a little different from the type you...
Okay.
Alrighty, we should head back now. Wait... You're finally done whispering secrets to each other? So much for promising Paimon you'll be back soon. How could you say that to Paimon? In that case, besides having no... Your dessert is all Paimon...
Sorry to keep everyone waiting.
No worries, we're all just chatting here. There's no serious business. Whether we're chatting outside or inside, it's all the same.
Paimon's too busy eating to talk to...
But even though we're all well acquainted by now, I think this...
Oh? Is this...
Nope. This is something I made up so that good luck will be on our... Spontaneity is the best choice to make here. It's been lit for so long now that the incense is running out. I'll leave refilling and lighting the incense. Lighting the incense will signify continuous growth.
I see. Perfect symbolism. And speaking of the most distinguished guest here today, I'm sure we all agree that it's Mr. Zhang. I'm not very familiar with the details of his past deeds, but chatting with him has been a real eye-opener. If knowledge were a form of power, one could even—
But when it comes to having a way with words, I just happen to have a good memory. It is such an unexceptional skill, yet you made it sound like Since we all get to nominate someone— I think it's only fair that we let the parlor director light the incense.
Huh? That won't do. Don't flatter me just because I'm your boss. We are looking for the most distinguished guest here. As the host, now that we've enjoyed this table full of delicacies, how about we let our one—
Is this really the way that—
It's not a big— Just look at her! Xiangling, the disciple of an adeptus, the stove god's best companion, the winner of the Masterful Chef's competition. The only heir of the famous One Mean restaurant. A good old friend of mine. There's no better choice.
Why does Paimon feel like— Please stop! If we're looking for a distinguished guest, surely the second son of the Feiyun Commerce Guild counts. It's one of the
Huh? Don't get me?
Ooh, not a bad choice. With the Commerce Guild's young master—
That's not how it works. Making a fortune is indeed a fine wish. Which means we should choose Chongyun, the skilled—
Huh? Now, I can't be the one when we have the Conqueror of Deep. Adeptus Xiao has the most seniority among—
I refuse. I am most certainly not the most distinguished guest here. You should all be able to make the right judgment based on your observations. One person here is well acquainted with everyone else.
Oh, that's right! Even though you're always mocking Paimon, you're still No, wait! Paimon said she wouldn't talk to you again. Huh? Who else is there? Huh? Does that mean Paimon's the most Oh, well,
I agree. Paimon's just the one without a friend constantly by. But once you have some—
The traveler has traversed many nations and left behind a great deal of fascinating stories. But without Paimon plays an indispensable role in making your journey a happy and smooth one.
You guys! Those were genuine compliments. Thank you. You made Paimon wait for a long time, but—
Don't take everything to heart, Paimon. Friends tease each other all—
That is indeed true.
That means Paimon is as important to the traveler.
Looks like we've come to an agreement.
I trust the traveler's judgment.
Then Paimon it is. And now, the world's most excellent traveler's greatest companion, guide, and friend, Paimon, will be refilling and lighting the— Here you go. Take— It's getting late. I won't take up any more of your time. You're all free to go as you please.
Yep, the tea would—
You don't have to go all polite on me. Just remember to come with— let's see. It's dark out, so I'm going to accompany Xiangling, Xingqiu, and Chongyun back home. As for the rest of the guests—
No need. I'm headed towards the harbor to meet a friend on the ship. I think you know the place I'm talking about. Come meet me anytime. It was great getting to know you all.
Bye. Oh, we should write poetry. We'll catch you all later then. Don't forget to return to the parlor later. There's some—
Understood. See you later.
Rex Lapis.
Just Zhongli will— I live as a mortal in Liyue Harbor now. I am just one among many who begin work. If we were to consider status and seniority as Zhongli, I should be respectfully referring...
Heaven forbid.
I heard that during the Lantern Rite Music Festival, you conferred with Streetward Rambler and Cloud Retainer. The same truth will sound different coming from different people. I once had a pleasant chat about the past and present with a Sumeru scholar named Soraya, and learned a few things about her research from the evidence she found and the conclusion she made. But there are multiple sides to in the legends recorded by humans, some gods were depicted as... But whether to me, Streetward Rambler, Cloud Retainer, or younger adepti such as Shao and Ganyu, those adepti... This was as true back... Just how Shao may seem unapproachable to most, but the Traveler has proved... So there's no need to dwell too much on certain things.
I mean, Zhang...
It looks like you understood what I'm... The director asked me to accompany you on your return. But I don't think you'll need my protection. After that, it'll be time...
Bye, Zhongli! Everyone's gone now. Paimon always feels a little empty inside when a lively At least you? No. Paimon got it mixed up. Paimon, the best and most distinguished travel guide. Good that you're aware. Shell, is there anything else you want to do?
No need. I've stayed here for much longer than I had expected. The city lights are... The events of today occurred so abruptly. I appreciate... Okay, I'll